What's up, everyone? Kelsey Charles and Megan Murray here, and you are listening / watching to Girls Talkin Boys in partnership with SB Nation. As always, hello.
Happy Friday!
Yay!
Awful week is over-ish.
You know, it is the Friday before Christmas, and it is the...
I did not even think about that.
This last night...
Right here.
Yeah, exactly. Last night was the last night of Hanukkah. You know, I know there's
or Chanukah, as some would say.
Chanukah. We are recording on Thursday night, and so I am not technically Jewish, but I'm learning about all the holidays. I'm definitely Christian, but I am trying to be a sympathetic
You're trying to be worldly and know what's going on.
Yeah.
We love that journey.
Yes. So I'm supposed to eat fried foods. And so obviously I'm great at that. So tonight I will be eating a donut because that's what I need to be doing.
Yeah.
That's it. Anyways, I don't know how we got here, but here we are. You're welcome. Meg, I kind of want to dive in because obviously this week's been a lot and it's just, this year's been a lot. I'm kind of just ready to wrap up in general, but I kind of want to get your thoughts. It's the home stretch of the season. And before we dive into the San Francisco game, I would love to just pick your brain on where your head's at in terms of where this team is. We established last week that we are definitely not Team Tank, although we are Team Tank Lawrence. So Team Tank Lawrence, not Team Tank for Lawrence. Okay.
Yes.
But, we are talking a lot about the draft and that's starting to come into play. But first, there's still this sliver of hope that the Dallas Cowboys could make it to the postseason, even if all of y'all are against it. And that scenario would be the Cowboys have to win out entirely. And then they also have to beat the Giants, which would be a given if they won out because they're one of the 3 teams they play left.
Yes.
And then also Washington has to lose out entirely. So while I'm saying there's a chance, it is
I love the enthusiasm from everyone. And like I said, not Team Tank. I don't want to lose on purpose, but come on.
It's a lot. And I could sit here and be like, well, first of all, Alex Smith is not a guarantee. He didn't practice this week as of today when we recorded. He hasn't practiced yet. So it could be a totally different scenario. And they play Seattle this weekend, right? So that could easily be an L for Washington. And then they play Philly. Philly's their last game. But then who else do they play? Oh, they play Carolina. They can beat Carolina. And Philly's all up in the air. That's a toss-up. It's a divisional game. And both those teams have decided, with Jalen Hurts, I can't believe I'm saying this, but with Jalen Hurts, that could be a difference maker for them. So it's very possible.
Hurts, don't it?
Yeah. So I don't know, man. Crazier things have happened, but
yes. And it is 2020. Nothing is off the table. However, just the way everything's going for us, no.
Yeah.
We don't get the good things.
No, we don't get the good things. And it would just be hilarious. If I think it would the scenario be I think it would be that we would, if we, let's say the craziest scenario ever and we end up making it to the playoffs, I think we would have we would host at home or something like that. That would be the most Cowboys thing and undeserved thing ever. And it would be hysterical. Jerry's
the worst, host team ever.
Yeah. So all that aside, Washington's an interesting position right now. Again, if they don't have Alex Smith back, I feel a little bit, if I were them, I'd feel a little bit concerned for rightfully so.
Now you're going to have to update me. What is this injury that's lingering with him?
Foot, ankle.
We don't like ankle injuries.
Yeah, it's something. Calf.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's the likelihood he's out for the next 3 games? Because I don't see that. I don't know.
Not 3 games, but
basically don't get your hopes up, but like, let's have fun.
Let's hope that, because like technically if he's out this weekend, we could, I feel good about assigning an L next to that Seattle game for them, right? Carolina, not as much. Carolina to me could ruin everything is what I'm trying to say. And then Philly and Jalen Hurts could give them a really interesting game, which would kind of be just poetry for him, at least. When I say him, I mean Jalen. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's definitely a stretch, but it's at least like kind of fun to talk about because it's definitely not a lock either way for Washington, if you will.
That's very true. Very true.
Oh man, it's just this
you're really just trying to get me all hyped up and like hoped up, and that only happens to me on Sundays.
Yes. Like
right before the game.
Yes.
Like this is my time to be negative Nancy and tell you that we're terrible and nothing's going to happen.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
But much like Alden Smith did this week.
Yes.
We're bad.
Pretty much. And he was very straightforward about what we are and what we're not. So there's that. Real quick though, I just have to mention this because when we talk about, obviously we have to beat the Giants too, because we just have to in order, if we were going to make the playoffs in general.
I would kind of just like it for my sanity as well. So.
Yeah. Like we just need to we need to win that game so we can at least say like, well, we got swept, but we also swept another team. That's it. So Jason Garrett has COVID is what the reports are, and tested positive for COVID. And I hate that for him. So obviously like tons of well wishes for him in that journey, and hopefully he's A-okay. But that being said, the Giants also have some interesting storylines this week because Daniel Jones now has a new injury. So it's going to be potentially, most likely, the Colt McCoy game yet again. I mean, let me just say this, man. Congratulations to Colt McCoy on one of the most successful, longest tenured backup careers in the league. Like, we should do an expose on the most successful backup quarterbacks. Like, we talk about raising kickers. I kind of want to raise a backup quarterback because those homies do all right. Like, they do just fine.
Oh, they sit on the sidelines and stack paper, and then they only have to come in for a couple games if, things go according to plan.
Like, AJ McCarron still plays in the league.
Where is he?
He's at Houston, man. Like, and I know this because I was discussing ratchet tattoos, and of course, he was one of the first to come to mind.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, like he and Catherine are still together, like, doing their Catherine and AJ Alabama thing, but in Houston. So, I mean, they went to the
Bengals. That fits for them.
It really does. It really does. Yeah. So either way, and on top of it, they're playing the Browns. So Freddie Kitchens, since Jason Garrett is out.
I just want to say that I really like the name Freddie Kitchens.
Yeah. It's might be
just a good name.
I don't know if I like him. I'm like, he seems kind of like a subpar human being at times. Like, I'm not sure, but I can't speak from experience, but like some of his behaviors in the past, I was like, Anyway,
I just feel as though that he could have a hit show on the Food Network.
Oh.
Yeah.
I love that.
Like,
as I eat a cookie.
Making fried state fair food. Like, that's something that I feel like he would just like do well with. Like
he and Guy Fieri, they have their own thing. Oh my gosh. No. Yes. That's what he does. But he does it. It's stadium food fair. That's what he does.
He can do that. Like, Guy doesn't need to be associated with this man, apparently, because he's too pure for this world. But, like, I'm here for Freddie, like, just going around to every stadium.
Freddie Kitchen his future. In the kitchen.
His agent needs to call me.
Literally, wow. I don't know. I'm not saying this is a brain trust, but it might be a brain trust.
Like, I'd say so. We come up with great ideas.
We're going to create an OnlyFans for ideas only. I feel like that's not what it is. What's the word? What's the other website that's not so sexual? Like a
Patreon or something?
Yeah, Patreon. There it is. Do not run with that, people.
Oh.
Anyways, it's sweet poetry is what I was trying to say. That he's going to be calling plays against the Browns, like his former team, that it just went so poorly. So lots of drop. Like, we can't deliver wins really in the NFC East, but damn it if we can't deliver storylines. So
always in the headlines, baby.
Do not say you're not entertained.
It's our job.
So let's talk about headlines going into this week, because 49ers, they're favored by 3, and they are having a rough season.
It kind of surprises me that they're favored by 3.
So if I had to guess, we're 4-9, they're 5-3. Really not much. Like, it's the same. It feels like the same. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think really what they've got is George Kittle has now been cleared to potentially return, like to practice. So we're not sure that he's going to be actually on the field this weekend, but I think there's like an opportunity potentially maybe. And I think a lot of the injuries that they've dealt with, like, are they have potential to return. Whereas the ones where it's like Dak literally, like, it wasn't.
Don't remind me.
Yeah, like, we know we're not seeing you, okay? We're not happy about it, but we know there's not a chance. So it really isn't the case with the 49ers. You know, Garoppolo could potentially, not this week by any means, but again, like, it's not permanent for them for sure. And Kittle has been cleared to practice. So I think that might be a reason. But to your point, Meg, it's 2 unimpressive teams. And there's a reason why they got flexed to the nooner, the brunch game, because they want everyone to be lit up by the time they switch.
You don't want these 2 legendary and decimated squads to be in prime time?
Why not?
I don't know.
Yeah.
No, that was a bummer, and they should feel a little embarrassed about that. But yeah, I mean, going into this matchup, I guess I can see your point with like the little uncertainty there. Their defense is still solid though too. So that's a fair point. Can we actually get anything going against that, or will they just be able to stop us at the right time? Our defense is extremely confusing. So
our defense doesn't know who it is, and they also don't know who's leading it next year, apparently, is now what the word on the street is. So
they're like, we decided to do some takeaway things, but like, also you can run past me and I'll just like wave. So
versatile.
Yeah. Consistently inconsistent.
Like,
really keeps you on your toes.
You know what? It keeps things interesting. Like, not complacent. You're not comfortable.
Yeah, never comfortable.
I mean, I'm just trying to say that I am great at kissing frogs in the dating game. And that's what I feel like I'm trying to do in this situation as we speak. Like, really, truly wax poetic on some BS. So you're like, you're nodding your head. You're like, yeah, you're great at that. This is yes, this makes sense.
I don't even have to say
it. Yeah, I mean, listen, their defense it's top 5 defense, and they've definitely got some pieces. You know, it's fun to see Sherm still in the mix, and I love him. Like, for the record, there's a handful of players, like, obviously, you know that my affinities where they lie, but there's a handful of players individually that I just really like and am a fan of, and he's definitely one of them. So it's cool to see him.
I mean, I dislike him at some points, but that's kind of the charm of it all, really.
When he's being like nasty on the field, and I'm like, stop chirping. Like, I do not. No, sir. Yes. Anyways, so yeah, their defense is good. And on top of it, they have a pretty good running game. And we all know how this defense performs against the run. again, like last week feels like an anomaly. Like I'm super happy for this team for getting that win. Granted, it was against a really horrific team. And so to only keep them to 101 yards, like I will take, like I've said this entire season, I will take any victory I can get. But if you're going to think that I'm going to celebrate and truly believe this team has turned the page, you're wrong. And so
Yeah.
I am still definitely concerned about what they bring in terms of, guys coming out of the backfield. They've got guys like even like Tevin Coleman for perspective. Like, I mean, again, he's not a spring chicken by any means, but he's like your third or fourth guy in this roster. So, and he was pretty all right when he was with Atlanta. So, definitely some concerns, but at the same time, I'm just struggling to be enthusiastic. Is that the right word?
It's just funny because like, can they do it? Yes. But what will they do to shoot themselves in the foot in a horrific fashion? That's why we keep coming back.
Yeah. It's like a drug. We can't get enough. Like
Your toxic ex.
This is the blue pill. We're all taking it.
Yes, together.
Yeah, I mean, it's to me, I don't really know what to say, because at the end of the day, I think there's a lot of opportunities for this Dallas Cowboys offense to, try and continue to be productive. At the same time, again, it's a strength going against a strength. So at least hopefully it'll keep things interesting. On the flip side, our defense really, they have a pretty average offense. They're decimated by injuries. Our defense is decimated by injuries. And so
they have, we have Cheeto and Diggs and Donovan Wilson coming back. Is that official?
No.
Okay.
And I
want it to be.
Yeah. We should know probably by the time this podcast airs. So
prediction is I'll just say it with confidence.
Yeah.
We're gonna play. Diggs is gonna look great.
I don't know if Diggs is coming back. No, I thought he was out for the rest of the year.
He's off IR.
He did practice Wednesday. Yeah, I don't know. And I don't know. I don't know.
Saying there's a chance.
Yeah. I get nervous about that.
Oh yeah, I'm very nervous about that. Like, maybe just don't bring him back and let him heal. But also something to be said about getting some snaps. I don't know.
Yeah. Either way, inconsistency is the theme, especially in the secondary. And so at the end of the day, like I said, it's just, I'm sorry to not be providing like this massive in-depth analysis. It just kind of is what it is.
I mean, I don't feel like you can really, like, you could go off on a tangent on certain players and certain things, but like, these are two very confusing teams and we don't really know what's going on with them.
Yeah, exactly.
We're going to find out though.
We are going to find out. We're definitely going to find out. I don't love that the 49ers are favored. I definitely think that you have some reason to be raising some questions about that. But, at the end of the day, I think this Cowboys team definitely has a solid chance of, taking this win. I think another factor to make sure that we consider as well is the fact that 49ers are practicing and they're basically living a training camp 2.0. They're in Phoenix right now. And I
feel like just while they're in like Glendale, Arizona, they should change their name to like the Glendale Gold Rush.
Oh yeah, I
feel like that's the same vein, but like splashy.
No, that's phenomenal. I love. You know what? I'm gonna recommend that to someone.
It would be a nice little like temporary rebrand,
Yeah, love that. Like it's just like almost like they can be their own like XFL team at the same time, or like yeah, that's good. I think that's great. I think it's awesome.
Thank
you. Yes, but they are basically living a training camp 2.0 because they are in Phoenix right now. Obviously the city and did not let them have any sporting events. So they literally were like, oh, cool, SOL, we need to go somewhere with no or lighter restrictions. So they're in Phoenix, and they've been doing that, and it's very self-contained. I talked to the actual reporter for the 49ers, Kiana Martin, today, and she was saying, it's all convenient. You just kind of golf cart everywhere. They've taken over like ballrooms in a hotel and turned it into the meeting rooms. And very, again, like I went from my training camp days with the Cowboys, like it sounds pretty similar. But what I do remember about that was, if you just think about it, it's an added layer of fatigue. After a while, like the convenience factor wore off and the familiarity factor started to impact you, where you were just gone from home, gone from your people, gone from your daily routines. And so take COVID as it is right now, having to just operate in the NFL this year, and then add operating in NFL this year away in Phoenix, and then they're having to travel. Like, it just, I don't know. It feels like this team mentally, and coming off of the fact that they literally were Super Bowl contenders. I mean, they lost, and they went to the big game last year, right? Like, they're playing in it. The Cowboys love to talk about how they are, they can win the Super Bowl, and then they have all those high expectations. Well, and they underperform like they did this year. Well, that's actually the case with the 49ers, where they literally were there last year, and now they've fallen so far. So I just think mentally this team has been through the ringer, and I can't help but think that like they're exhausted. And I just imagine after everything they've gone through that this is kind of a tired team, and I don't know, maybe that would play a factor.
I would imagine that you are right in some sense on that. But I mean, you did bring up a valid point though. They did go to the big game last year. And I think a lot of that has to do with an offense that Kyle Shanahan can put together. So when you have someone who's just like battle tested and he's able to like make big adjustments and all that, it just like, that's a big factor in how they can show up and play any given Sunday. So,
yeah, I think the 49ers have a lot going for them. I think that they have a lot working against them this year, and I think this is totally an anomaly for them, and it's going to be a blip on the radar. And for them as a team, I think they'll bounce back. I think they have less issues, deep-seated issues, comparatively speaking, to this current Dallas Cowboys team. So if I were a part of their fan base, I wouldn't be as worried. But at the same time, like, it's just, again, kind of one of those, there's a reason why it was flexed to the noon game. And I think that's just kind of is what it is. Either way, are you taking the Cowboys, or are you following Vegas's lead and giving it to San Francisco, or should I say San Jose or Santa Ana, wherever their stadium is, that is not San Francisco?
Santa Clara.
Santa Clara. I've been there like 10 times, which is hilarious.
I like how you said Santa Ana.
I do. I say that all the time, and it's like so wrong.
I mean, he is a historical figure.
Yeah. Well,
Texans don't like him though. So
wait. Yeah.
You remember the Alamo?
No, but isn't there somewhere in California named that too?
Probably.
Yeah, it is. Ha! There it is. Okay, I'm not crazy. I was like,
I didn't say you were crazy.
No, but I will pull something out of the middle of nowhere and be like, no, right. It's 100% it. It is a city in California. It's definitely in Huntington Beach. So it's not close. It's in LA. So there's that. But yes, either way, Santa Clara.
Yes.
Far away.
Just a bit. But I mean, as far as my prediction for this game goes, I'm struggling whether I want to, like I keep saying every week, I'm like, I feel negatively on Fridays. And then on Sundays,
all right,
all of a sudden I'm like, you can't touch this. Like, we're the best. Go Cowboys.
That's why you're a great fan.
Like, I'm not exactly there yet, but I'm kind of leaning on like giving them an edge. I don't know why, which now I'm being all superstitious. So I'm going to go with they're going to lose because that's what I keep saying. And then when I say that, good things kind of happen.
Okay.
Less bad things happen.
I will let them build off of their momentum from last week. I do think they put together, despite the fact that it was against a Bengals team, a solid, a nice win overall. I really do. And I felt like the defense showed up and did things that they haven't done all year. And I just think that they needed that mentally. I think a lot of individual performances were needed. And I think they have a good opportunity to come in and truly take the win this weekend. Again, like I said it before, like I don't believe.
I wish I could be that logical.
I really don't believe that this team is team tank in mentality. I just don't think that's how athletes operate. Right. And so I think that we have a good chance of coming away with a W in this one. I mean,
they've certainly looked like Team Tank Lawrence over there on the defense lately.
Let's go. All right. So we got half and half. We're split over here on GTB. Well, someone else who's also split between the Dallas Cowboys and the 49ers, actually is Charles Haley. So I wanted to make sure I gave you guys a heads up. Ended this on a nice little high note because you know what? We realize that these two teams haven't put the best product performances on the field. So instead, let's talk about something positive off the field. And number 94 in your hearts. And also, wait, no, that was backwards. 94 on the field, number 1 in your hearts.
You got there. You got there.
Charles Haley is actually holding. Now I'm like, wait. Now I'm worried that I mess up his number. Did I mess up? No, I did not mess up his number. No. Okay, good. He was 95 at times too. Like I was like, no, surely I did not. Whoo, man, y'all. Anyways, Charles Haley is actually holding a holiday food drive on Friday. It's a part of his Tackle Tomorrow Foundation. It's pretty cool. It's his 5th annual. He holds it every year. Obviously, this year is a little bit different because of the pandemic. And so they're not doing the full-fledged actually serving the families food themselves, but they are collecting and like packing. So I thought that was pretty neat. And
yeah, I love that.
Yeah. Like I was like, I see you, Charles. Like, I feel like you probably did this on this game week of all weeks for a specific reason, but either way,
he's no dum-dum.
He is no dum-dum. Definitely not.
When it comes to the brand.
The brand, for sure. All right, Maggie, what else you got for this week's matchup? Anything else?
Well, you know, it is a historic matchup, and I just would like to reiterate the fact that I hate them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. There's nothing good about them.
Nothing.
Not one thing.
They're liars.
Hideous color scheme. Stupid. I don't like the name. Dumb. Don't like it.
They're liars. They don't even play. They are not even a San Francisco team. Like, you're not even telling the truth. You are literally robbing us of the truth. Horrible human beings, all of them.
Yeah. I feel like the Bay Area really needs to work on like how they name their teams. Like, I think San Francisco Giants are the only ones, Oakland A's, I guess. Whatever. They mix up their stuff too much. I don't like it. Trash.
Beautiful city.
Yeah, beautiful city.
Trash sports teams.
Okay. Yeah.
Anyways.
I mean, yeah.
It's kind of how I feel. Like literally, that's the epitome of this. Like, yeah, like could not be more spot on. All right, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. We really do appreciate it. It is always a good time hanging out with y'all. We hope you guys had a good week and are going to have a good weekend. Stay safe, socially distant, wear your mask, all of those things, so we can actually have sports in person and all be hanging out together. If you are not subscribed to the Blog of the Boys podcast, wherever you get your podcasts, go ahead and do that. Spotify, Apple, iTunes, Stitcher, rate, review, subscribe. Give us all the 4 stars. Really, 5 stars. 5 stars.
I was like, whoa, are you docking yourself?
We don't hit 90%. We a hundo on this team. 5 stars. It really does help us out. Make sure you're also subscribed to the Blog of the Boys YouTube. Meg, though, again, I know we don't play bird teams until next week, but it really is important that we leave you with this as we prepare for said matchup.
And that would be Dallas forever, Glendale Gold Rush, and the Philadelphia Eagles for never.
Glendale for never. Wow. Bye, guys.